Well, hi there, warm welcome. You're watching Times Now and I'm Meghna Deka. Well, here's another round of Congress's Gali politics. Well, after its president Mallikarjun Kharge compared Prime Minister Modi with Raavan, now former Congress MP V.S. Ugrappa has compared the Prime Minister with the demon Bhasmasur. In fact, Ugrappa has lobbed the latest slur by saying that Modi is like modern Bhasmasura. In fact, he said this in context of Article 21A, the fundamental right to education and scholarship for children. Clearly, as the poll season heats up, Congress hopes that insulting the Prime Minister is going to be the fastest way to garner votes. Listen in to what exactly was said.
Modi ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಭವಿಷ್ಯದ ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಅನೇಕ ಸಾರಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ, ಮೋದಿ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಧುನಿಕ ಭಸ್ಮಾಸುರರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಈ ದೇಶದ ಮುಂದಿನ ಏನು ಶಿಲ್ಪಿಗಳಾಗುವಂತ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಭವಿಷ್ಯದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವರ ಬದುಕಿನ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಚೆಲ್ಲಾಟ ಆಡುವಂತ ಪ್ರವೃತ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಇವತ್ತು ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಯವರು ನಡೆಸ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ.
Well, the BJP now has lashed out at the Congress for the latest insult, saying that the Prime Minister is considered a Bhasmasura only by the corrupt and anti-nationals.
सभी देशद्रोही सोचता है मोदी जी है तो हम अपना जिंदा नहीं बचेगा, ऐसा सोचता है. उसके वजह से मोदी जी भस्मासुर है. देशवासियों के वजह से, सारे देशवासियों के वजह से मोदी जी श्रीमन नारायण के जैसे है.
ये देशद्रोहियों को प्रधानमंत्री भस्मासुर ही रहेंगे. कांग्रेस वाला देशद्रोही है क्या मुझे पता नहीं, मगर वो वैसे ही समझे प्रधानमंत्री भस्मासुर ही रहेगा उनके लिए.
Every time they abuse Prime Minister Modi, more people shows affection towards the Prime Minister Modi, because by abusing Modi it's not going to help. They need to declare their policies, and they don't have any policies which can counter the Prime Minister Modi's policy of welfare of the country.
Now, instead of condemning the insult which was heaped upon a democratically elected Prime Minister, the Congress has instead justified it. Listen in.
मैं आपसे पूछना चाहती हूँ, ये छुई मुई बन के प्रधानमंत्री जी क्यों रहते हैं? आप छुई मुई हैं क्या? अरे आप देश के प्रधानमंत्री हैं, आपकी 10 आलोचना करी जाएगी, आपसे 10 सवाल पूछे जाएंगे. देश ने आपको चुनकर इतने सर्वोच्च पद पर बिठाया तो आपकी जवाबदेही तय नहीं होगी. एक सवाल पूछ लो तो प्रधानमंत्री की बेइज्जती कर रहे हैं, एक सवाल पूछ लो तो इसका बदला कौन देगा? अरे कब तक अपने बददिमाग प्रवक्ताओं के पीछे छुपे रहिएगा?
Now, in fact, let's remind you how personal attacks on the Prime Minister has spectacularly backfired for the Congress earlier during the polls. Let's remind you, the first taunt, for example, was Modi is a Maut ka Saudagar. This was said by Sonia Gandhi, the then President of the Congress. What was the fallout? Well, Congress lost the 2007 Gujarat polls. The next one came, Chaiwala cannot become a Prime Minister. This was said by Manishankar Iyer. The fallout of that was that BJP had swept the 2014 elections. Then came another taunt from the Congress's Manishankar Iyer again, saying that Narendra Modi is a neech kisam ke aadmi. The fallout was that BJP won the 27 Gujarat polls. Then you had, of course, Rahul Gandhi, who had said Supreme Court ne kaha tha चौकीदार चोर है, for which he had to publicly apologize as well as to apologize to the apex court for having misquoted the Supreme Court. However, why do these barbs, personal barbs at that, continue against the Prime Minister is the question. Let me go across to our panelists. Joining us today on the show, Mr. R.P. Singh, National Spokesperson of the BJP. Karan Verma is joining us, author and a political analyst. Manasvi Thapar is joining us, a lawyer and a political analyst, and George Kurian, another political analyst. Now, Mr. R.P. Singh, I'm going to ask you the first question. Do you think galis to the Prime Minister, especially ahead of crucial polls, has become a template for the Congress? They feel they can garner votes by it.
Well, problem with the Congress is that they don't have a leader and neither they have the policy. Na neta hai, na niti hai. That's why they go to this level of using curse words and abusing the Prime Minister. And this election, they have crossed all limits and level. Auqat mein rahe, Ravana, now Bhasmasur. If they feel they can do with this sort of behavior or this sort of conduct with the son of the soil of Gujarat in Gujarat election, then people of Gujarat will answer. Because in our country, Ravana and Ram are seen as people representing or the lords representing two systems. Ram represents the righteousness, and then Ravana represents the evilness. So if you put a person who has given 5 lakh health insurance to more than 50 crore people in the country, or 3 crore houses or roof over the head of the poor woman, or Kisan Samman Nidhi to 10 crore people, 10 crore farmers, and you block him or treat him as an evil or Ravana, then God bless you. We can only say that people of the country stands by the Prime Minister because of his righteous stand, and then his stand for the righteous cause and righteous policies, and also for the righteous objectives.
Right.
But as Congress is, I mean, we can't help it, and they can keep doing it and then helping us for that regard. I mean, they can be on with this. But this doesn't work on ground, because by doing so, they think they can probably garner some vote, and then they think they can garner the vote of particular community by abusing the Prime Minister.
That hasn't worked for the Congress. I agree with you. In the past, it doesn't seem to have worked for the Congress. In that case, Manasvi Thapar, at a time when Rahul Gandhi comes out and says, "Hum pyar ki rajniti karte," he goes and hugs the Prime Minister. Even just a few days back, he had said, "You shouldn't keep hatred. Wipe out hatred from your heart." Either he has not communicated his thoughts to his cadres, or by his silence, he's complicit in these statements which are being made by his cadres and also the party president.
Yeah, wrong statements and galis have not worked for Congress, but it has worked for BJP. When Prime Minister himself says कि विदेशी जर्सी है, 50 करोड़ की गर्लफ्रेंड है, and the only Prime Minister abusing the living former Prime Minister की raincoat पहन के bathroom में जाते हैं. So these kind of statements made by the sitting Prime Minister for the former Prime Minister and for the opposition leaders have been there. So when he says it, he's winning votes, and the same people who are condemning it right now were the same people who said that's okay, उसकी बात मत करो, वो सही है.
So Manasvi, are you saying that the Congress and the BJP are two sides of the same coin? They're exactly the same. They did it, now Congress did it, nothing wrong.
No, you did not interfere when RPG was saying. So please don't interfere when I am speaking, because I'm trying to make a point. My point is both are wrong. But can the BJP have the power and conviction and say what Prime Minister said was wrong? कि विदेशी विधवा है, किसकी विधवा है? Abusing the former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. Was that wrong, or was that legitimatized by the BJP? So my point is, two wrongs don't make a right. If Congress is doing wrong, that is wrong. I can say that. But can BJP say when Prime Minister said
Can BJP say that the Prime Minister also had made similar comments? So they should also apologize before they demand an apology from Congress. RP Singh.
Well, there's a difference. There's a difference when you call a man by resemblance of Saddam Hussein, and when you call a person, Prime Minister, a Ravana. We all know what's the difference between Ravana and Saddam Hussein in the country. And then, I'm sorry, Saddam Hussein was a very good friend of the Congress party.
He talked about Manmohan Singh specifically.
Gave a very sweet deal to Congress party. I'll come to Manmohan Singh also. I'll come to Manmohan Singh. But he gave a very sweet deal to Congress party at that time. I remember there was an agreement between the Saddam Hussein and Congress party for the oil versus food.
Please give me 10 seconds.
So they should not feel bad about Saddam Hussein.
Give me 10 seconds.
I need to go across to our other panelists. I'll come back to you. I'll try and circle back to you, Manasvi. Karan Verma. Now Congress is the party which says that हम मुद्दों की बातें करते हैं, हम politics की बातें, politics हम चाहते हैं सुधारना, which is why we'll talk about the economy, we'll talk about the joblessness, we'll talk about issues that matter. Why is the same Congress party then resorting to this gali politics? One would have expected Congress would know better. At least they're going to follow what they are preaching to the others.
You know, Meghna, another day, another disaster, another day at work for the Congress party. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Congress and insanity today go hand in hand. I mean, there have been so many occasions in the past where they've made self-goals after self-goals. They've thrown stones at the Prime Minister and he's converted them, used them to convert them into a milestone. But they don't get it. I think after 42 losses over the last 8 years, Congress today, from rattled to hysterical to insanity, Congress has completely lost the political wisdom to think through a situation. Look at the kind of statements they've made. Madhusudan Mistry, he talked about औकात दिखा देंगे. Imran Masood, पोटी बोटी काट देंगे प्रधानमंत्री की. Subodh Sahai, Hitler की मौत मरेगा. I mean, these people have completely lost it. They should be shown to kids as a manual of how not to be a loser in life. Because when you lose, you do not have a viewpoint. All you can do is start abusing and start ranting. Congress, unfortunately, has been totally stumped and outsmarted by the Prime Minister. So all they can do is, they are doing a Padayatra in Madhya Pradesh when the election is happening in Gujarat. That tells you a lot about their wisdom. So all that is left of the Congress, unfortunately for them, is keep abusing.
But in that case, George Kurian, in that case, why does the Congress continue to do that? We saw when they called the Prime Minister Chaiwala, they made it the war cry. BJP literally made it the war cry for 2014. Why does Congress then continue doing this?
Well, Meghna, before I begin, I don't quite agree to the other panelists on the other side. RP Singh should understand that, BJP should walk the talk before making any kind of comments on the Congress party. And to begin with, I strongly believe that today the television debates and topics of debates are only topics where the Congress can be cornered. All the good things that Congress has been doing currently or at present, it never becomes a topic of discussion on national television.
Something which has been said by a Congress leader, if you don't see it, then there would be no soundbite to it. But go ahead.
Well, Meghna, what I'm trying to say for your viewers is that, Rahul Gandhi is on a Bharat Jodo Yatra covering 3,500 miles across from Kanyakumari up to the Srinagar. So this is something which, one should appreciate, that has the national television given importance to the Yatra or for that matter any coverage? No. So what I'm trying to put it across to your viewers is that only debates of topics where the Congress party can be cornered is on national television. We are coming to on the debate and trying to make it clear to our audience and the people of India that this is not the reality. Reality is something else. It is totally different. Now the point is, Rahul Gandhi is trying to unite India against hate and violence, against rape and against inflation, rising, unemployment in the country, the falling rupee. I can go on and go on. But these are the points of national television. These are the points of debate that one should be doing at this point in time. But the reality is something else. Any statement from any Congress leader for that matter.
So the reality is something else, despite the fact that Rahul Gandhi even now has talked about Ram and Siya Ram and whether it should be Jai Shri Ram or Jai Siya Ram. He's the one who's kicked off the controversy. But of course, it is humbly the media which must take the call, must make the fall for us. Karan Verma, you wanted to quickly come in?
Meghna, 10 seconds. Yeah. Meghna, ताउम्र यही गलती करता रहा, धूल चेहरे पे थी, आईना साफ करता रहा. दिस इज द स्टोरी ऑफ द कांग्रेस पार्टी. डिबेट्स ऐसी क्यों कराते हो, मीडिया ये क्यों कवर करता है? अरे ये आप ही के नेता ने बात कही है, आप कम से कम अपने गिरेबान में तो झांक के देख लो.
ऐसे बातें मत कीजिए that you don't need to try and defend it. But Manasvi Thapar, the fact that Congress not condemned these statements, one would imagine Congress is backing these statements.
Meghna, see, my friend Karan made a statement that every stone thrown by the Congress, Prime Minister Modi ji have converted into what? So he's correct. वो हर आपदा को अवसर में बना सकते हैं. He's very strong at that. But Congress could not do it. I'll give you an example. When Modi ji said कि विधवा है, किसकी विधवा है, Sonia Gandhi did not use it for her vote bank. When Manmohan Singh said Manmohan Singh, he did not say कि Sikh community की बेइज्जती कर दी है, पंजाब के खिलाफ बोल दिया, दिल्ली के खिलाफ बोल दिया, सिखों के खिलाफ बोल दिया. He did not use it for a political might. That is not in the blood of Congress. They can't play that आपदा में अवसर. You can abuse Congress 100 times and you have done it in the past. Even today you abuse it, but Congress can't use it. That's not the Congress DNA. But you throw a stone or you say something and BJP acts in a fragile manner and say हमारी बेइज्जती कर दी, हमको गाली दे दी, हमारे खिलाफ बोल दिया, and they come into a mode of debate and they come to a mode of ये एंटी नेशनल है, ये मोदी जी को खराब बोल रहे हैं, ये वो कर रहे हैं। पर मोदी जी ने 50 करोड़ की गर्लफ्रेंड बोला, वो बहुत अच्छा बोला, विधवा बोला, बहुत अच्छा बोला, मनमोहन सिंह बोला, वो बहुत अच्छा बोला। वो जो करते हैं वो मास्टर स्ट्रोक बन जाता है। इट्स द बिगेस्ट पॉलिटिकल माइलस्टोन ऑफ द हिस्ट्री। बट when he speaks the same kind of language, even lower language than as a sitting prime minister, he has spoken about the former living prime minister, he does not condemn it. And right now also,
RP Singh, are there different goalposts which have been set by the BJP for themselves and a separate one for Congress?
Meghna, we have to differentiate between the Ravana and Manmohan or Monmohan. There are two different things.
Okay.
In this country, Ravana is seen. I'm sorry, neither Mr. Thapar or anyone else will keep Ravana as his son's name. It's not possible.
debate
yes,
kaise badalte? Meghna, did you see?
Lot of
how do they change?
Sir,
the point here is, will you condemn what Modi ji said? That is not the answer. वो राम रावण पे आ जाएंगे।
Can I complete?
Okay, let Mr. RP Singh finish making the point.
Sir,
you asked a question, Meghna. You asked.
Okay, I'll ask the same question to Mr. RP Singh. Does the BJP regret the statements which have been made in the past by their leaders to the Congress?
I never knew that Times Now had changed the anchor in between. I mean, I'm sorry. But coming back to the issue is, see, when you use Ravana as a word for a person, especially like a prime minister, and it makes a lot of difference. Ravana is seen as evil in society.
Yes.
In the Indian society.
Okay.
In the Indian culture. So, and then, whereas I say Manmohan Singh ji never uttered a word, and that's why we called him Manmohan Singh. I mean, but that doesn't mean that we are painting him as a Ravana. Ravana, painting someone as a Ravana or calling someone by the name of Ravana is different. एक मिनट सर, एक मिनट थापर साहब प्लीज, आप अपने बच्चों का नाम रावणा सिंह रखिएगा जरूर, या रावणा थापर रखिएगा, मैं मान लूंगा।
Hey, let's not make personal attacks. George Kurian, let's keep the politics aside. George Kurian, let's keep the politics aside. Let's forget about who said what, and that two wrongs don't make a right. As even Manasvi has agreed, George Kurian, would you say that it is wrong to call a democratically elected Prime Minister Asur? Would you at least agree to that limited point and say it's wrong? It's wrong for an Indian democracy itself. It's an insult to Indian democracy.
Well, I strongly believe that, Prime Minister and the office should be respected. And we also believe that the Prime Minister is the Prime Minister of the entire nation. All states come under him.
Yes.
It is not only specifically BJP ruled states which come under Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister should also give equal importance to every state, irrespective of who is ruling. Having said that, Rahul Gandhi's statement that he made about Jai Shri Siyaram, what he intends to say is that, Congress's intention is very, very right. It's a progressive intent that he means, and he also, in reference to Rama and Sita, he wants to say that let us be an inclusive, kind of a social, responsible way to help out the downtrodden, the poor, the Dalits, and kind of give some kind of a hope. In respect to that, he has made this kind of a statement, and we all know that the BJP RSS DNA.
I need to intervene. I need to
importance to the women.
Revert.
Okay. 10 seconds, Mr. RP Singh. We are running out of time.
I'm sorry. Give me a second. No, this can't go like. Give me a second, please. Please, very, very sorry. Mr. Rahul Gandhi is not aware of what do Shri mean. Please Google and search. I'll just read out. Shri mean Indira, Rama, Harpriya, Lakshmi, Kamla, Padma, Padmasana, Shri Bhargavi.
Okay. So the BJP's contenders is Shri itself refers to Sita. Karan Verma, closing comments?
You know, Manasvi made a very valid point, and I would just like to answer his point. He said the BJP is very smart at turning things around. Of course, the BJP is smart. I will agree to that. But do you know, Manasvi, why it connects? I'll just give you two examples. When Rahul Gandhi said Chaukidar Chor hai, he had to go and apologize in the Supreme Court, and Mr. Modi could use Main Hu Chaukidar. And when Manmohan Singh was called Manmohan Singh, he said silence is better than me speaking out. And his silence cost us Sharmal Sheikh when he kept quiet, and India's mention came in the pact and was an international embarrassment. So trust the intelligence of the audience also. When you lie or when you do not connect with the masses, even your insults cannot be turned out to be used for political advantage. So there is some
I'll
loss
give you
of
10
credibility
seconds,
also
Manasvi. I'll
when
give
the
you 10
Congress
seconds to
uses those
respond
kinds
to
of
that.
words.
Lies don't turn into truths, and give people due credit for their intelligence.
Correct. So when you speak Sonia Gandhi Vidwa hai, so that has been legitimized today in this debate. When you insult opposition, that has been legitimized today in this debate.
That is
regrettable.
It's not acceptable.
So when you say a former prime minister, I have not seen, I have had.
That is regrettable. I accept.
14 prime ministers.
I accept
14
that.
prime ministers in this country have happened in this a great country like India. None of the sitting prime ministers have ever insulted a former prime minister. And I am very much proud of the fact that my prime ministers, all my prime ministers have worked for this country. And I can't say the future prime ministers would disrespect the past prime minister. That's a wrong precedent.
But
If
at
the
the end
present
of it,
prime minister
hopefully,
does not like the
gentlemen, we can at
politics
least
of the
agree that there needs to be a certain level that we need to set for our political discourses. Resorting to galis perhaps is the biggest insult to the electorate, who feel this is what is being discussed instead of things that really matter. This is what our entire politics has come down to, and netas knowingly, and I'm saying it knowingly, not unknowingly, make these comments to stir up controversies because they feel at the end of it, it is all going to be Ram Bhakts. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us here on the show. Without a short break.